everyone, and welcome to AC Spotlight. Today, I'm joined by Anjuli Smith, the Geek Girl bookworm herself, marketing guru, DM Guild contributor, and master of painters. Welcome, Anjuli. How are you?
I'm very good. Look at those. I need to put those on my resume.
I'll give you my copy. I'll give you the script here. You can just put it all in.
Amazing. I am very well. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited to have you. Well, like I mentioned before, prior to the recording, is that I like to open with some softball, icebreaker questions. Something that always trips people up, which is this one question, which is when you are playing a game at a table, what is your tabletop snack of choice?
Oh, interesting. I am a savory snacker.
Oh.
So I have a certain flavor of crisps that I absolutely adore. Or chips for you Americans, crisps for me.
I caught on.
They are
for the audience.
Yes, for the audience. Yes. So they are Walker's Sensations Thai sweet chili, and they are really, really good, thick crisps with a nice crack to them and a nice spicy sort of bites. They're not like you're like hot Cheetos. They're like just a nice, quick, warm hit that goes away after a second. But
you
they're
said Thai sweet spicy, so we're talking like a Asian spice, sort of up the nose, sort of sinus kicking a little bit.
A bit wasabi-like, but like a bit more like a red chili, but with the heat of a wasabi that sort of is there and then it goes again. Yeah, and they're a great crisp.
I think honestly, savory chips are probably the best. There's this sort of Asian restaurant nearby, or at least it's like a little convenience store situation. It's called Daiso, and they sell these shrimp chips.
Oh.
They're these sort of chips that taste like shrimp.
Like prawn crackers, we call them.
A little bit, yeah. Oh yeah, prawn cracker. Oh yes.
Yes.
But it's amazing. Now you built an incredible career within the TTRPG industry. But when it comes to your sort of the humble beginnings, I'm sure you played at a table numerous times, but do you remember your first character?
Yes, I do. I started off as a DM, but my first actual time.
You start off as DM? We'll get to that in a second, but really?
Yeah, I never get to. I'm always the DM, but I had one game that was. I used to play every Sunday morning. We had like a little group that would go to a hotel around the corner in the little village that I used to live in, and they opened early for breakfast, so we would go and have a breakfast club and we would play D&D from breakfast until just after lunch. We were playing Storm King's Thunder, and my first character was Sanusha, and Sanusha was a half orc barbarian, because I like playing fighter types that can just run in and smash things and don't have to have a high intelligence. They just need to Hulk smash everything, and that just is how I like to play my games. And Sanusha was amazing, not very smart, but like the tank. She unfortunately died because mind flayers ate her brain, which probably wasn't a very nutritious meal, but because my intelligence was like a -2.
It's like junk food at a certain point.
Yes. So we'd finished like this big quest, and everyone had gone. We'd been invited to this like tavern with like a spa, and everyone was in the jacuzzi, which was like 3 floors up. And I was like, I'm gonna guard the door. Just you guys have fun. My character wasn't comfortable like getting all like naked in front of everyone. So I was like, I'm just gonna do the guarding. It'll be fine. Like we've done all the bad things, and of course, a whole bunch of mind flayers turned up, and I had to try and fight them on my own because everyone else was up 2 flights of stairs in the jacuzzi with champagne going la la la, what's going on? And I couldn't roll very well because I had -2 modifier for my intelligence, and then they ate my brains while everyone was having champagne. And then everyone got out.
What a juxtaposition.
Came down and just Sanusha's on the floor with her brain.
The GM's cutting between scenes and going, "You're dying. Your brains are on the floor." And then we cut up to the party up front. You guys open up some new champagne, and you're bubbling. There's some people walking around naked, and you're having some fun. And oh no!
And everyone was like, "How can we go down and help her?" I was like you can't.
Know?
Like, why would you know? Like you wouldn't. Like I've decided this is my fate. this is how I die. And it was glorious, and it was funny, and like I rolled a new character, and she was a tabaxi ranger, and she had like a gorilla as her beast like companion, and
cool.
she then got turned into a vampire spawn, and yeah, she also rolls really badly for like an insight check, and then got this vampire collected exotic creatures as his vampire family, and so as a tabaxi, she was a snow leopard. He wanted to have her as part of his entourage. I rolled badly again, got turned into a vampire, and then that messed up the whole game because I couldn't travel during the day, couldn't get into some places because I needed permission to go in. And then they decided that I could move around in the bag of holding, so I could climb into the bag of holding because I was technically dead. I didn't need to breathe and therefore could survive. So during the day, I would just live in a bag of holding, and I'd just have to roleplay as my gorilla.
These are the only things. Honestly, I love these type of conversations because it's, if you were to say this randomly to anyone out of context, they think you're insane. Like, what are you talking about? You were in a bag with a gorilla and you turned into a vampire. It's like, no, only in tabletop that this could be a common occurrence, and then we can follow along. But you said that you were a DM first.
Yes.
Yeah, you dove right into that chair.
Yeah, I did. I used to run a bookshop in the little village that I used to live in. I used to run a lovely little bookshop. And one day the D&D Dungeon Master's Guide came in for 5th edition, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Started reading it. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then I ordered the player's handbook, and then I spent like 6 months trying to convince all of my friends to play with me. No one wanted to, but by this point I was like super into watching like Critical Role, and because they had just started. Like at this point, like I was one of those like 300 people watching them rather than 300,000 people.
Back with the bad audio and yeah. Yeah,
the good old days, 2015 or whatever it was, yeah, and it was like, and I was super into it, but I just had no one to play with, so I'd like mapped out all these campaigns and stories, and I was just waiting for someone to take the bait. And then stranger things happened, and then all of my friends were like, oh, D&D's cool. It's like, yes it is. I've been trying to tell you this for years. And finally, like, we got a game together, and we played regularly, like every Thursday. Everyone would come around to mine, and we cooked dinner together, and then we play the game, and it was beautiful. Obviously, we don't do that anymore because we all moved away into different parts of the country now, so we don't live anywhere near each other. But we did finish our campaign, and it was a nice ending to the story. But yeah, since then I've always been the DM. I used to run 6 games a week.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, here I am complaining about 3. Jeez.
Yeah. I can't do it anymore. Like, but I used to. I used to have. There was one guy in the village who owned 3 different pubs, and he was like a super nerd. And so I would run games in his pub because he wanted to bring more nerdy people into his pub. So he'd like put a little area out for me where I could run D&D games in his pub and try and bring more people into the nerddom. So yeah, I used to run a lot of games. Yeah, I ran Lost Mines of Fandelver, I think 24 times.
Whoa.
Yeah. I knew that story off by heart.
I was gonna say you know it by memory now.
Yeah, Droop the Goblin. Like everyone always saved him and always wanted him as like a pet. I always had to have him.
Well, we always want to save our little guys.
Yeah,
you know.
So I was already ready every time. I made him a new character sheet. I was like, right, I'm going to introduce this guy, and these people they're going to love him, and they're going to want him to follow them around. So I was always Droop the Goblin as well.
I love that, and the fact that you've surrounded, it's kind of just sort of dove yourself into sort of storytelling as a whole. I myself, I love it when you are gifted with concepts that are against sort of tropes, sort of subversions of tropes. But as someone, like I mentioned yourself, who surrounds himself with stories, books, and games, is there sort of a subversion to a trope in D&D or tabletop in general that you like, that you would want to see more often? Like, the smart big guy, or the angry small person, like one of those things.
Yeah, I do like those type of like juxtapositions of like, yeah, like I had a gnome monk. Like, I love the idea of this tiny little thing that was like just like super like ninja, super fast thing. I love those. What I really hate is the tragic backstory. Like,
Oh yeah,
like,
it's so played
like,
out.
like,
Yeah.
why can't you just have parents that loved you? Like, I have
was an
parents that loved
orphan.
me, and I had a nice life. I probably still would go adventuring. But yeah, but I think I do like it when characters are a little bit fun. I like characters that are fun and that are silly and like to push back with me a little bit, like, and help me build the story. And I mean that comes with confidence. Like, a lot of when I'm playing with a lot of new characters, a lot of new players, like, they obviously don't understand that they can push back in the world and actually help build the world. So that's one of my favorite things, is when you get that character moment and they realize, oh wait, I can help build this world. That's one of my favorite things.
I'm gonna pitch you a character concept, because the fact that you like subversion is so really fun. I also like the idea that, like, you can play as a character that does have living parents and siblings.
Can you imagine?
I know there's this really fun concept that I learned of, and I was like, I'm gonna write this down for next time. And it's someone who's going adventuring because they went through a bad breakup, and they're like, well, I got to get out. I don't want to think about them anymore, so I'm just gonna get. And they have really loving parents who are like, how's your partner? It's like, oh no, I don't want to talk about this. It's like going to like family during holidays. It's like, I like my parents, but I just can't stand them.
It's like the fantasy version of cutting your hair.
Yeah. Oh, what did you do to your hair? It's like, oh, I don't want to talk about this, please. I made my own decisions. Okay.
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna cut that man out of my hair. I'm gonna go on an adventure. Forget about him.
Well, speaking of adventuring and adventures that you had a hand in, for those who don't know, you made a D&D retelling of the Nutcracker.
You've done a deep dive on me.
I did. I was doing as much as I can. What was your process of taking this sort of well-known story and making it playable for like a group of adventurers?
I did it so long ago. I downloaded it the other day, so I'm like, I'm going to update this, and then I never got around to it. It's my only thing on the DM's Guild.
Yeah, I saw it.
I know. I've got so many things like written and just like never like actually put into any like good typesetting. But yeah, this one I wrote. So I love all the old classic stories, and like I figured like, this story already exists. It's already like available for people to use. Like, why not try and make it more fantasy setting, like something that's fun to play at Christmas? And the idea was that I wanted to make something that I could maybe play at my parents' house at Christmas with my brother and sister. Like, my family not really into that side of gaming. Like, we're all video gamers. Like, everyone in my family does video games in some way, shape or form. And that's how I got into gaming as a whole. But they don't play D&D or any board games or any like story-based things like that. So I was like, if I can write a story that they all know that's Christmassy themed, then at Christmas we can all sit around and I can play it with them.
Oh, nice.
So I sat down. Yeah, so I started just writing out like, okay, how would this look? And then I got like super hyper focused with it and was like, okay, yeah, okay, but what if I did this? And then what if I built out like, because when you get it, you get like, I do all the stat sheets, I've done all of these maps. I went far too like in depth into it completely. I made character sheets for like pre-generated things that had themes to the Nutcracker and everything. It got a little bit out of hand. And what was meant to be just like a 2-hour became like a 4-hour one shot, across multiple levels that you could play it at. And yeah, it's I did too much.
Well,
too much.
it certainly shows, because there's a lot of praise online, especially on the DM's Guild. There's a lot of great reviews for it. So anyone's curious, go look it up.
I will be updating it hopefully for this year, for this Christmas, as a Christmas gift to everyone.
There you go.
I'm gonna try and update it for the new rules. That's my
5.5. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's old rules. It's very old now.
Speaking of your sort of deep dive into sort of the nerdy culture that you love and that we all love so much, is that you're also a LARPer. For those who don't know what LARPing is, do you mind telling the audience what a summary of it is?
Yeah, you get to dress up as a wizard and run around in a field.
Hell yeah, that's it. That's actually honestly a really good apt description of it. I mean, I'll be honest, I know what LARPing is. I know I would super have fun with it. I've never done it before.
So I only started. So my friends have been trying to get me into LARP for years and years and years and years, and I've always been very much like, no, it's not for me. Like, I'm not an actor. I'm not like super confident with that sort of side of things. Like I'd feel really stupid and embarrassed. And then the team at MyMiniFactory, Christmas for Last, we all LARP together. Like that's one of our things that we do as a team. You need to be coming to LARP with us. And I was like,
so MiniFactory got you into it.
Yeah, I was like, I want to fit in with work. So yes, okay. And so we all go to Empire LARP. So LARP is live action role playing. So Empire is like the UK's biggest LARP. There's like 4,500 people that go over 4 days. Yeah, so it's a massive. They've just bought this year their own. So normally they rented out like a camping field, but this year they've bought their own space. So they've like a £5 million plot that they can have permanent fixtures on, and that's like their permanent camp LARP camping area. And it's called Empire, and it's got like different nations within this empire, and there's lots of plot and stories and things going on. So I started it last April was the first one that I went to, and it happens 4 times a year. I missed the first one for this year because I was in Paris at another wargaming show, but I'll be going to the one that's coming up in June. But yeah, it's good fun. Like we're all in the same like nation, and we all dress up. I play a sort of a tiefling-esque artificer. I make magical weapons. So I tried to do the fighting, and it was too much for me. I got super panicky that I was actually going to die in this situation. I was like, this isn't for me. I'm getting too like involved in it. And there was like bits where I was actually scared and like, I just want to run away. So I don't do the fighting. I'll watch and I'll like help out with like weapons and things, but I won't actually like get into the fray of it. But I like my character now. She's sort of evolved a bit over the last 3 games. And she was wooed a lot in the last game because I was moving from one house that I'm at and looking for a new house, and obviously everyone wants someone who can make magical weapons for them. So there was a lot
of course. We gotta entice you somehow.
Yeah, they were like, we'll have dinner, we'll throw you a dinner. And then so I'd go to there, and then they'd have a big dinner, and I'd be invited to drink mead with them and eat, and then like someone else would be like the next day like, oh, let me take you for a tour of like some of the different like kingdoms and all the people that I know. So it was very nice to be wooed in such a way.
See that, people, if you want to be wooed, easy enough, find your local LARPing group and just be the support.
Yes, just be the one that makes the magical weapons.
I know.
That's what they want.
When it comes to, I mean, I've never been LARPing, but coming from someone with a TTRPG always on the brain, is there like a starting class? Like, would a artificer be a good starting class for anyone who just like is just starting out?
Yeah, I think you have to decide like what you want to do, because the paths are they're less like tree branches. Like within, you can't do a lot of multi-classing because you get very limited points and XP that you can put into things. You sort of have to decide early on, okay, am I going to be a support character? Like, what do I want to get out of LARP? Do I just want to fight? Am I going to be a mercenary? You know, what's my character build going to be? Am I going to be a support character? And I'm going to have nothing to do with the war at all. And I just want to make cool things and sell them, and maybe I just want to be the richest person in the nation. How do I go about being the richest person in the nation? And then I would say, yes. Exactly. Yeah, just
role
make
play is capitalism. Perfect.
Exactly. And just make it sort of just decide like what you want to do with your character, because you won't have a lot of options to change it and to branch out into other things, because a lot of the LARPing is very like you pick a thing and you go along that route, and there might be a couple of, you can put some XP in like little things, but normally you stick to the class that you started with. I was very lucky that I started as a fighter and then sort of spoke to the god, as it were, and said, I'm not having a good time with it, can I swap? And they were very good at moving all my points over and let me go to a support role. But for the most part, you're meant to sort of either kill off your character or start again and lose all your XP and things like that. So do the research. Like a lot of the LARPing places, like in the UK at least, have like big wikis that have lots of information about like what's going on with the world at the moment, like what it looks like. And there's always like Facebook groups and that you can talk to people and find out like where best to sit. And also, so like with Empire, all of the nations have very specific looks to them as well. So it depends on also like, you know, how you want to build your character for costuming and things, like what places do you go into, and then that will also affect some of your classes, because some classes won't be part of that nation because of the way that nation lives and things like that. So I would say just do research. I moved into the nation that I was in just because the rest of my team were in it. But if I'd gone on my own, I probably would have chosen a different nation so that I could dress it. And my nation is very Knight's Tale, romantic, medieval style. I would have preferred something more like Viking. So,
right. Yeah.
Like, that's a bit
furs
more casual.
everywhere, you know.
Yeah, like it's all very pretty dresses, and like I'm not really a pretty dresses kind of girl. I'm a swamp witch, not. But
well,
yeah.
You mentioned this before, and honestly, this is obviously kind of what your current venture is working with MyMiniFactory. You are the strategy business development manager. You've probably seen thousands of creators through events and community. From your own experience, what is the biggest challenge independent digital sculptors are facing right now that maybe the average person wouldn't even be aware of?
The main thing is just the absolute deluge of creators that exist and STLs that are available. So like on MyMiniFactory's site, we have 300,000 STLs on there. Just adding a new STL isn't enough to be seen anymore. So the main issue is having a fully fledged game. So if you can come to the platform with not just, hey, I made some STLs, but hey, I have a game, I have my own IP, I have you know, war game rules, I have a new TTRPG like system, and I made all these miniatures, then you're going to get seen much more readily, much more easier than if you just come on and say, hey, I've made some cool proxies for Warhammer or for D&D. Like, you know, there's so many dragons on there, but like if you've made a dragon also has like rules for like 6 different systems, then you're going to be picked up a lot easier, because people could be like, oh, I can put this into my Pathfinder, I can put this into D&D, I can put this into, you know, Vassan, I can, whatever system they're using. If you've got something that incorporates more games than just the standard 5e, then you're going to be seen better. And I think that's one of the big issues at the moment, is trying for us to educate our creators in like, hey, this is how you make more money. Like, we would love you to have a business that is making more money, and so this is how you do it.
It sounds like a lot of the creators who probably participate, it's a lot of like the creative mindset of making something and then pushing it, but there has to be a business mindset next to it, going, okay, cool, it's fine to create, that's very interesting, what's the story you're telling, you know, like what's the full package. And something that's really important beyond that too is something that you've been really kind of vocal about it too, is the Soulcraft initiative from MiniFactory, where, you know, I know because you mentioned sort of the deluge of all this sort of new content. AI generated art's not making it any easier. Why do you, and just in your own words, because I think this is an important topic to talk about, why do you feel it's vital for these platforms to be explicitly protected, like, you know, MiniFactory, from, you know, AI content, and really focus and highlight human creativity?
I think that AI in art is... Sadie, stop that, sorry. It's terrible audio. My dog is like, just trying to dig through the sofa. Stop it. Silly girl. So I think we need to, especially large companies like us that have lots of artists and creators and sculptors on the site, we need to be doing what we can to protect them. Because, I mean, the way that our Soulcrafted initiative, which is our anti-AI stance that we use to help educate and protect our creators. So if we offer grants and funds and things to help them to learn new tools and buy new software, so that they don't have to go down the easier AI route, and they can continue on with their craft. I think that if we aren't seen to be doing something, then if we aren't seen to be doing something, let's start that bit again. So I think if we aren't seen to be doing something, then like, what are we here? We preach about community. If we're not seen to be doing something, then we're not practicing what we preach. I think it's the reason that Soul Crafted came about was because in one day we got like 500 uploads in like an hour from a creator who was just making AI and just was putting a thing into a thing and said, hey, I want to make, 10 dragons, boom, upload them, boom. And all of a sudden, all of our website, all you could see was these AI generated things, boom, 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 on every screen. That's all it was, this one creator. And he was like, I can do this all day. Like, there's nothing stopping me.
Your site is mine now, essentially.
Yeah. And our creators were like, hey, what is this? Like, this is not what we signed up for. This is not what we thought MyMiniFactory was about. And so we had to very quickly as a company, and a lot of us have been very vocal that we didn't want AI as part of our company. We respect art and creativity because a lot of us are LARPers, and we are gamers ourselves. We play games, we write games, we enjoy that sort of creative side of things. And so we very quickly had to say, hey, no AI, and we took it all down. And then after taking it all down, it's like, okay, well, what can we do to protect our creators? And that's when we all sat down and had this talk about Soul Crafted, like, what can we offer? What should our stance be on it? And how are we going to make sure that it stays in effect? Like, as technology grows, we still need to make sure that we're not just having random things thrown on here that haven't had any human input into them apart from to type in a tag. And that's where Soul Crafted came from. And we're all very proud of it. We do believe in it, want it to grow and flourish. And we want to be able to expand it out from just our creators to anyone who's a digital artist. So whether you're painting digitally, whether you're making music, whether you're writing books, anything like that, Soul Crafted, we want to be able to expand into greater communities to help protect like all artists and all creatives. Yeah.
Incredible. Speaking of expansion, because I know that you work, especially when it comes to MyMiniFactory, a lot of it's all physical, objects, painting sort of miniatures, sculpting them, making them, printing them out, especially like 3D printing. We met last time just sort of in person via WonderCon, and it was a blast to chat with you, getting to know you, going to these cons, because I know you do participate in a lot of these cons. You were kind of introduced to a lot of like new stories and communities and projects and such. And I want to ask you this question, not limiting just to WonderCon, but have you ever gone to a convention and were wowed by a project?
So I go to a lot of shows. I go to maybe 15 or so a year across the world.
I'm asking you, that's a tough question then.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. So in March I was in America. I went to 4 conventions in that time. So that was like 4 done already. So I went to, cause I started off in Louisville at Gamma Expo, and then I went to Dice Tower West. I did WonderCon, and then I went to and then there was Adepticon going on at the same time. And there's a lot of shows that I go to. Trying to think of like projects that have wowed me. I got super excited at Gamma Expo, which is so for anyone who's like not in the professional side of gaming in that way, Gamma Expo is the Games and Manufacturing Association. It is an organization that helps to like build a community with all the different aspects of the tabletop gaming world, whether you're in manufacturing or production or publisher or your events and media, whatever you fall into that category, they help to facilitate and grow the communities that you survive in. And they have a show once a year, which is a B2B show. So there's no customers there. It is all just publishers and retailers and everyone getting together and talking through things. And I had some really interesting conversations with some retailers, which I didn't expect to be the thing that I was most excited about with Gamma. But they came up to me and they were asking like, how can I as a bricks and mortar store get more into 3D printing? Like, how can I support creators and be able to like print their stuff off and make sure that they're getting like money for it. And how do I incorporate 3D printing into my stores so that it is profitable for me as well. And I didn't realize that side of the industry was like asking for that. It was really interesting for me to like go back and think like, okay, how can we as MyMiniFactory help to facilitate that with like merchant licensing? Like how can we help to train them on like, you know, how to use 3D printers, how to incorporate a 3D printer into your store, print farms, and how to incorporate like the miniatures into organized play for them, and bundling, and like all the different ways that we could like organize and help them to expand their present, the 3D printing presence within their store and make them more money. And they've asked me to like go back next year and do some talks about 3D printing. So yeah, I think.
So what really surprised you was just sort of the openness, as well as sort of the desire to learn more about this industry, as well as this sort of sector of the industry. Yeah, that's interesting.
Because like I've online sometimes you do get retailers that are a bit negative about it. They see it as like you're encroaching on their territory, and like I've had to say to them, well, if your customer was only ever going to buy digital, then they weren't your customer to begin with. So we haven't stolen a customer from you because they were only ever going to buy from us. And likewise, if someone's only ever going to buy physical, then you haven't stolen a customer from us. They were never our customer because we don't sell physical. And it's those hybrid ones in the middle that want both that we have to find a balance for. And it was really nice to see that there are retailers out there who want to live in that sort of Venn diagram of the two things combined in. And yeah, it's been nice for me to like have that challenge and have that like, okay, how can we do this, and how can MyMiniFactory fit into that? And hopefully by like next year, I'll have some answers for them that we can actually like, I can present to them and be like, hey, here are some projects that we're doing that we think would help you.
Well, heck yeah. Well, our goal here for Arcane Circle is to definitely join Gamma, which we plan on doing probably at the beginning of next month. So we'd love to check out any presentation you may have.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I like this question a lot because I fall into this category a lot, which is we all have a pile of shame, is what I labeled this as. Unplayed Steam games you just bought and you haven't played at all. Scripts for training videos, that's directed directly towards me. Or maybe some unread books or unpainted minis. So currently, what pile of shame is staring you down right now?
So I have a whole loft, which I converted into a painting station. It is full of unpainted miniatures. Things that I've 3D printed and gone, yep, I'm going to paint that, and then I haven't. I have like 2 3D printers going on, and like I have more miniatures than I will ever be able to paint in my lifetime. And I keep buying more because they're so pretty. So I have that pile of shame. That's a pile of shame that I own. I've always got video games that I buy because they're on sale, and then I don't play them. I'm playing Pokemon Pokopia.
Oh yeah, right.
No other game exists for me.
All the indie ones we bought during the Steam summer and winter sales, those are gonna sit there forever.
Yeah, and I'm just until I've caught all the Pokemon, nothing else exists for me. I just need to fill out that Pokédex. So that's my whole goal.
Do you have that? Do you have that completionist complex where you've got to see that 100%?
Not on like trophies, mainly because it's too difficult for me. I don't play things on like nightmare modes and things like that. I like it. I like my games to be the thing that helps me unwind, not gives me more stress. but like I do like Pokemon, like especially I like to be able to fill up a Pokédex. Like that, it feels like not a big stress. Like I don't have to, just like grind forever and ever to get that. I feel like that's an achievable goal for me. Fill up a Pokédex. And I've got so many parts. So I just got the new Dungeon Crawler Carl book today. So that is.
Yeah. I'm fully aware of Dungeon Crawl Carl.
It's so good. But the new book came out today, so but I don't cheat on my books. So I'm already halfway through a book, so I can't read my new Dungeon Crawler Carl, even though I want to, because I haven't finished the book I'm reading, and I can't cheat on my book that I'm currently enjoying. So yeah, I have to wait until I finish this book to read it, even though I read it. Yeah. So there's many things. My whole house is a pile of shame. So many hobbies that are half done. I'm looking right now at a bag with a knitted jumper in it, which I started like last April, and I've done about like 20 rows.
I'm that person who gets a kick in cleaning, where I'm like, cool, I'm gonna wash all my clothes, washer, dryer, or not. Well, I don't have a dryer, it's a lot of hang stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll wash a bunch of things, have it hang and it's dried, and I'll go, great. What's the next task? I didn't put them away yet. You know, they're not hung, they're not folded. I fall into that problem, and of course, I mentioned before scripting. I always put myself in a position where I've volunteered my time to run games, create a one-shot, run a one-shot, produce something, and occasionally I'll look at myself going, I have 6 scripts to write. I didn't do anything. Yeah. But
that's why I haven't started games in a while, because I know that I'm not sure I can like fully commit to these games. Like I do like little one-offs and like one-shots, and if someone that says, hey Anjuli, can you just join in for this and be chaos, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I can be chaos. It's like, oh no,
little commitment, but it's fun.
Yeah, so I don't know if I can commit, and I haven't DM'd a game in so long. I want to get into Daggerheart though, so I need to like learn Daggerheart, and then I can do some Daggerheart stuff. Yeah, that's my next big thing. Yeah, that's gonna. Alex from Critical Role from Darrington Press has said that she'll teach me it, so it's like, okay, please teach me how to do Daggerheart. So we got to just organise that. It'll be nice.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Anjuli, for joining me, and not only for sharing your experience and your adventures with me, but also with the internet at large. Where can people find your work? Where can people keep track of you? Like, how can people keep up with you?
Try. Yes. You can find me so I'm mainly on Instagram now as Geek Girl Bookworm, mainly because I can't decide what other social media channels I want to use. I used to love my Twitter. I loved my Twitter so much, and then Twitter turned into X, and it was horrible. So I left there, and I sort of do sometimes do stuff on Threads, and I used to have a Blue Sky. I'm not very good at like keeping up with them all. So the moment I'm focusing, I'm on Instagram, sharing things there. That's probably the main place now, because I don't run my Twitch channel or anything like that anymore. Maybe one day I'll relaunch all of that stuff and have the bandwidth for it. But yes, Instagram is the main place you can find me. Please do come and chat to me. Like, I'm very approachable. If you see me at a show as well, I'm normally at all of them. I'll be at UK Games Expo, and I'll be at Gen Con, and I'll be at PAX Unplugged, and I'll be at Essen Spiel for definite. I'll be at San Diego Comic-Con as well, but you won't know who I am because I'll be in cosplay, and I'm not telling you what it is because it's a secret. You'll find out on Instagram when I finally share my costume. But yeah, if you see me at a show, please do come and say hello to me, because I love talking to people about the industry. I love hearing about your games, and I love just like getting super excited about the things that excite you. So yes, please come and talk to me there as well.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.